What's up, y'all? Tommy here, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the Mint app and how you can go about using this app to save more money. So if you're one of those people who have been in a situation where you've had more month than money, and guys, we've all been there, right? Or you just want to learn how you can save even more, then be sure you stay tuned for this video. Now, right off the bat, some of you guys are probably wondering what exactly is the Mint app. So I think probably like an oversimplified way of explaining it is really just a budgeting app, right? You know, back in the day, what people would do when it came to budgeting was you would literally write down, you know, when you had money coming in, you know, what your expenses were, and then you would kind of, you know, balance the budget from there. Nowadays, it's a lot easier because you're able to do it just from your phone, and it's probably the more tedious part of the process is automated. So the way Mint works is what you're able to do is just connect all your bank accounts or any of your pretty much financial accounts, right? So in my situation, I've connected my bank accounts, my credit cards, and even some of my investment accounts as well. And that way you can get more of a holistic picture of what's going on with your finances. You can even go as far as connecting any type of loans you have. So I previously had a car loan on there that I used to have, as well as student loans. Okay. And what it'll do is it'll tally up all this information, and it can be used for not only to just calculate your to actually see how your finances are doing, but you're also able to get a picture of what your net worth is, right? And it's able to calculate that based off of, you know, how much you have in assets, right? So basically all the assets that you include, you know, your basic stuff, you can include, you know, even a mortgage, a real estate if you have that as well. And it's going to just minus that from any of your liabilities. So things like student loans, car loans, credit card debts, so on and so forth. Now, why do I think it's beneficial? I mean, for me, I think probably the biggest thing is you're able to get a high level overview of just how much money you have coming in and going out, right? And what categories you're actually spending the most in. So me, the way I plan on using this app going forward is especially when it's going to be especially beneficial for me while I'm traveling. Typically, whenever I'm actually back home, I don't really spend that much day to day or week to week, month to month, so on and so forth. I'm not really spending too much money, right? I'm pretty much doing the same things over and over again. So I kind of have an idea how much I spend. Typically what happens is on the weekends, I might spend a certain amount depending on what kind of activities I'm doing, but I'm always keeping it at a certain level, right? I never spend more. Like, for example, I know, hey, I'm only going to spend $100 this week. It's never something where I end up spending, you know, I end up just blowing way out of my budget. Right. And so what I think is going to be really beneficial for me in this regard is whenever I'm traveling, visiting other cities, then what I can do is I can kind of see and gauge how much money I'm spending day to day or for week to week based off of however long that trip is. And that's going to kind of help me, you know, make sure that I'm keeping within what my budget is for that trip. Because some of the issues that I've had is, you know, whenever you're on vacation, you don't want to think about money, right? You're kind of in a situation where you're just swiping your credit card and just, you know, letting the money go, right? And so that's kind of why I think it's going to be beneficial for me to make sure that I'm using this app even more so whenever I'm traveling. Okay. Now, what I love about this app too is it does a great job of like automatically categorizing your expenses. So whenever I plugged in all my accounts into this app, it was already starting to categorize certain things, right? It knows, like, you know, if you're going to a fast food restaurant, it's going to mark it as fast food. If you're going to the Walmart or something, or whatever your local grocery store is, it's going to mark it as groceries or grocery store. Some, you know, some variation of that. And so it's already kind of doing most of the legwork for you. And I think that's going to be really beneficial because it makes it easy to where you're just really coming in there and really just making sure that all the transactions are looking right. And if there's any transactions that they weren't able to categorize, right, they didn't know like where to actually list those, then that's whenever you come in and you mark it for whatever category you want it to go for. Okay, so I think it's going to be, it's already been extremely beneficial for me, but I think it's going to be even more so as I begin to travel a lot more. So that's another great thing about it. The other thing is you're able to set up custom budgets. So you can set up a budget for, you know, hey, I only want to spend, you know, $500 a month or $200 a month on, let's say on food or something, right? And what you can do is as you're, you know, running your card or spending your card on food, it's going to keep tallying it up. And then once you get close to that budget, it's going to send you a notification to let you know, hey, you're about to reach your budget for this category, for X category, right? Or if I say I only want to spend $50 for, you know, for entertainment, once I get close to that $50, then it's gonna send me a notification to let me know that I'm getting close to it. And I think those are really great for you, especially if you're someone who, you know, you're spending but you're not really keeping track, or previously you weren't keeping track. It's gonna help you to make sure that you know, you're aware when you're getting close to that budget, so you can make adjustments in your lifestyle or just make adjustments in your finances as a whole. Now, how exactly do I plan on using it? I've kind of touched on it here a little bit. You know, I plan on using it to just get a clear picture of where all my money's going. One other issue I've had is I pay a lot of things with my credit card, right? I do that for more so, you know, you call me paranoid or what have you, but I don't like using my debit card. You know, I put a lot of fail safes. That way, you know, I never keep all my money in my bank card. I actually have another bank that I transfer money into that bank card, and that bank card I don't even use at certain places. Basically, like if I'm ever having to swipe my card somewhere where I'm not too sure about the area, you know, like you hear things about credit card skimming and things like that. So I'm always careful to use when I'm using my debit card. I typically will pay with a credit card, and then I'll pay off that credit card with money from my bank card. Okay, so that's kind of, it has its pluses. I like that model, but one issue I found is that when you have a credit card, it's almost like you forget that it's not your money, right? You start spending it like you actually, like it's your money, and then you become in a situation where you spend a lot more than you anticipated, and you know, you might be in a situation where, oh, you realize, oh, I don't have enough money to actually pay this all off, and then that's kind of what starts that cycle of people having large amounts of credit card debt. And that's kind of another thing that I like, that I find very beneficial of this, is it's going to help me be able to just see how much is already being spent, because it's going to be calculating it for me, right? As soon as these transactions are coming in, it's pulling it from my credit card, and then it's already adding it to the proper categories, as opposed to me seeing at the end of the month and looking and seeing, oh, my credit card balance is $2,000. I only intended to spend $1,000, right? Something like that. So that's one of the ways that I think is going to be beneficial, on top of the whole traveling aspect of it that I was talking about. I've kind of been looking in there a lot more. I had used Mint in the past, but not as excessively as I am now, or as efficiently as I am now. And I'm looking into, they even have a feature where you can add certain tags. So I'm going to be tagging, you know, expenses that have to do with travel, or whenever I know that I'm already abroad and I'm seeing these expenses come in, I can tag them and be able to tell how much I spent on individual trips, right? Or in individual cities, depending on what the city is. Okay. So I think that's going to be really key for me. It'll allow me even to be able to just see how much I'm spending on things like lodging and travel. That's really probably the two biggest expenses whenever I'm going on vacations, is how much are the plane tickets costing? If I'm taking a bus to go into another city, how much is that going to cost me? Or when it comes to the lodging, I'm typically using things like Airbnb, but if I'm staying in the city for a short amount of time, can I use a hotel, or do I need to just find a cheaper option? And that's all going to be based off of how much I've spent in my budget so far. Now, they do have another feature as well that's called goals. Basically what you can do is, in this feature, you can set it to where it helps you keep track of how much money you're saving to reach whatever certain goals you have. Now, I personally don't use that feature, or I haven't used it at all, just because, you know, I'm doing a different method. Typically what I do is I leverage different bank accounts. So I have money go into one bank account, and then a portion of that gets funneled into like what's more like a savings type of bank account. And then a portion I send to I use to invest. And then whatever's remaining in my main bank account, that's what I have to pretty much live off of, right? And that portion is more so what I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping track of, and that's the reason why I got the Mint app. But when it comes to me actually reaching certain goals, I prioritize that over everything else and have already moved that to another account. So that's kind of how I think is most efficient and work for me, and what I recommend other people do. But if you're in a situation where you just have one bank account, then it might be beneficial for you to check into that feature as well, because it could be something that is going to be of good use to you. So that's going to be pretty much it for this Mint app review. Now, more than likely what I'll do is I'll do another review in a couple months after I've tried it out more extensively. That way I can tell you guys whether it's been really beneficial for me or not. But just from looking at it right now, I think it's going to be quite a game changer for me, just because now it's like my eyes are open to how much I'm actually spending, as opposed to me just kind of spitballing it and looking at how much money I made and how much money I spent, and, you know, just trying to do some quick math. So I think it's going to show me a lot more granular, high level view of where all my money's going. And I think for that, it's more than likely going to be a win. But I'll definitely shoot another video to let you guys know how it goes. Alrighty. So besides that, guys, I do want to, one thing I didn't mention is also I'm going to be shooting another video on investing as well, about an app that I actually linked to this, that I'm going to be using to see how it performs with this app as well, which is called M1 Finance. I'll shoot a video, or probably by the time you watch this, the video's already been shot. It'll be linked down below if it is, that you can check out as well. So if you're into investing and you also want to work on the budgeting side of it, I recommend you get both of these and then you link them together. That way you're able to just kind of see your full financial picture. So that's gonna be another great option for you. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be pretty much it for this video. Be sure you throw a like on this video if you found this information valuable, and make sure you hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any of my future videos. And also leave me a comment if you have any type of questions, or if you have any other videos that you would like to see, and I'll work on shooting those for you guys as well. Alrighty, so that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I will see you at the next one. Peace.